Hi again, just here to finish that last video that got cut off. Sorry about that. So I was saying about odds of winning and losing, and if our odds are 7 winning and 5 losing, so 7 and 5, then our probability of winning is going to be, we're going to add 7 and 5 together to get the total number of games that were played. So that's 12, and so the probability of winning is going to be 7 because that's the number that of games won divided by the total games, which is 12. So the probability of winning is 7 out of 12. If I want to know the probability of losing, then I take the number of games lost. So in this case, it'd be 5 divided by the total, which is 12. So the odds are related to the probability, but you have to take the numbers within the odds and add them together to get the total in order to find probability. So let's go back and I'm gonna fill in this box where it says odds just to give you a general framework to work from, and then we'll do example 7. So in general, if you are ever finding odds that say in favor of something, so find the odds in favor of blank, then you're going to write the number of times the favored event occurs first, and then the number of times the other event or the against event. We call it the against event. So that's the other event. So for example, and I'll actually come up with example 7. Let's work through this example while we fill in this box. So if we have a standard card deck of 52 cards, let's actually do the second bullet first. So the odds in favor of choosing a king mean we're going to find the number of kings first in the deck, and then the second number is going to be, we're going to call them not kings, the number of cards that are not kings. So there are 4 kings in a deck of cards, and then the 48 other cards are not kings. So we say the odds in favor of choosing a king are 4 and 48. Okay, so that's in favor. So now we'll do against. So if you want to do odds against, then what you're going to do is you're going to put the against number first and then the favored number second. So if it says odds against choosing a king, then you're going to do not king, the number of cards that are not kings, so 48 first, and then the kings are going to go next. So 48 and 4. So you really have to pay attention to how the question is being asked, if it says in favor or against. And then to go back to that first bullet, and I'm going to fill in, I'm just going to put probability. When you want to find the probability relating to odds, you need to make sure that you add those two numbers together. So for example, if we want to know the probability of choosing a king, well, in order to get the total at the bottom, we can say, oh yeah, there's 52 in a deck, or you could also add 4 and 48 together because those were the odds for and against getting a king, and that's going to give you the total. So for probability, we write a fraction, and the favored number needs to be added to the against number in order to find a total, and that's going to be in your denominator. So we've got 52 cards on the bottom, and then there are 4 kings, so the probability is 4 out of 52 there. So notice the probability of getting a king, 4 out of 52, is not the same as the odds in favor of choosing a king. The odds in favor, we write 4 colon 48. So just pay close attention to that. So now would be a great time to pause the video and try the U-Try. And I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it. So if the probability of an event is 3 out of 5, so I'm just going to write 3 out of 5. So if the probability of an event is 3 out of 5, that means 3 means the number of times the event occurs, and then 5 is going to be the total. Okay, so that's what those numbers represent. So the odds in favor of the event, so if it's in favor of the event, then we're going to write the event and then not event. So if the event occurred 3 times, then we write 3, and if we know the total is 5, that means there's got to be 2 events that were not the event, if that makes sense. So 3 plus 2 is 5, so they're the other events that we're missing. The odds against the event happening are going to be 2 colon 3, because 3 is the number of times the event occurred, and 2 is the number of times that the event did not occur. Okay. The odds in favor of an event are 2 colon 5, the probability of the event. So remember, if you're given odds and you want to know the probability, then we're going to add 2 plus 5 and get 7, and that's going to be our total. So 7 is going to be the denominator. And if the odds in favor of the event are 2, that first number is the number of times the event occurs. So that's going to be your numerator in your probability. So the probability of the event is 2 out of 7. If the odds against an event are 1 colon 5, so I'm just going to write that down. So if it's against, the 1 means against, and the 5 is the number of times the event occurs. And against just means event does not occur. Okay, so if we want to know the probability of the event, then we add those two numbers together. So 1 plus 5 is 6, and that's going to be our denominator. And then the number that represents the event is the 5, since these odds are for against the event. So the number that comes second is the event number. So the probability is going to be 5 out of 6. So hope that helps. As usual, if you have any questions, just let me know.